Hello everyone. So I didn't have many thoughts today, and I didn't focus on my research or fellowship today because I knew that I had to work later tonight. So I thought that we could do an idea unboxing. So this is a book that I got for a friend as a gift, but I haven't read it yet. Sorry, I'm gonna open this. Doing this idea unboxing. Sorry. Okay. Let's unbox this idea. Sorry, I came up with that just moments ago. Sorry. I do have to go to work soon, so just preparing. My hair's the same. Still getting used to the shorts. And I did find this sweater 2 years ago now, and it's still my favorite sweater. So let's unbox some ideas. I know it's really silly. But as I really feel like I just kind of had it, I was in the clouds today knowing I had to work a bit later. And I didn't end up, my head wasn't in the game for the fellowship today. So let's read parts of Undying Love or Love Dies. Which I got for a friend, but I wanted to, I'll put it in a nicer, gift box, but I custom made this cover. To Most Beautiful Sarah, Love Dahlia. So I custom made that cover. And on the back it also, so this is Undying Love or Love Dies by the author Joel Tufik, author, scholar, writer, artist. And on the back it says acknowledgements. The author wishes to acknowledge the Islamic Computing Center, London, for the quotes from the electronic edition of M.M. Pickthall's English translation of the Quran, meaning of the glorious Quran. Yes, Undying Love or Love Dies. And we had been having some conversations, I guess, about love. So I thought it was a good book to get her. I know it's approximately, it's not a long, so you can see it's not very long. So let's see if we can, and this is the same author of Forthcoming, 2000, Oversensitivity, 1996, which I gifted that to another friend of mine recently. Vampires, an uneasy essay on the undead in film, which I had read parts of for ISP. And he spoke a lot about, or from what I understood, because he's difficult to understand, but from what I understood, he was sort of like talking about a lot about life transitions, And when we are transitioning in life, we're in a sort of strange in-between state. I guess I'm saying really obvious things. Maybe I could find my notes from that time. Let me see. And he spoke about, vampire, an entity that does not die and survives on the blood of others. Aphoristic, characterized by aphorisms, telepathic, liberty of association, sublated, disruption of conventional temporality and reality. Ways that we see vampirism: the virtual body in virtual worlds in another locality, smart weapons, smart cars, smart houses, doors opening on their own, doors that open on their own in vampire films, hypnagogic world, transitional states of consciousness between wakefulness and sleep, hallucinatory, the state immediately before falling asleep. Tech is bringing us, modern tech leads us to a world that feels surreal, dreamlike, writes like how ideas come in a dream, fragmented, to allow for unusual connections, subliminal messages. Overstructuring and over-organizing writing could lose its strangeness and ability for imaginative thought and dreamlike connections because we are often not coherent. That is especially relevant today. Think about this. We thought about the scene in Dracula not conveying actual true danger, but an obscure warning or an unexpected threat. An awareness, a continuous awareness, so there is no abruptness in your state of being. How people change and react to change. Reflective awareness. A realm that I alone can enter, that I cannot in principle enter with others, is my death. Metaphysical implications of crossings into realms of no return, like becoming a vampire. Once you cross a certain line, you cannot go back. New existential state. One's body can sense these changes or these lines, these points of no returns from far away, and it can cause existential stuff, like tripping or a heightened sense of awareness, bodily reactions to big changes. Cycles and spirals of decision-making. This text does feel like reading what it's like to go back and forth between huge decisions, life-altering decisions. Looping and cyclical nature of decision-making. Life is set in motion before the life-altering decision is made. Control. That actually made me feel a lot better to read after being in a really vampiric transitional state all day without being able to get out of it until I had just read that. That's what Unboxing Ideas is all about. So let's read also, now that we're excited, the kind of strange. Okay, the first part reads, "You have the nerve to tell me that you love me. How come then you screamed at me twice outside a cafe?" Said by a woman to her husband, who had followed her into death. Joel to Feek, Los Angeles, January, March, April, May, June 2nd, 1998. So, I feel like I should just tell on myself that when I see 6 to 1998, I still do that thing in my head where I go January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. And I think, I know what's going on. It's just I've done that since I was a kid and it feels ritualistic. So, to Bernard Shumey, New York. And if you want a bigger introduction to Undying Love or Love Dies, I can give a better introduction. The secret is that this book was actually out of print, and I kind of figured out a way to get it in print for my friend's gift. Sorry, it's shiny down there because I have to keep putting Aquaphor all around here because the winter has made it really dry there. So no brief comment can adequately describe this book. It is impossible even to categorize it, but this is true of Nietzsche's writings too. And it is with Nietzsche that I can most readily compare Jalal Tawfiq. Like Nietzsche, Tawfiq is a writer of philosophical aphorisms, manifestations of the intensest of experiences under pressure, of incomparable intelligence. But Nietzsche was no miniaturist, and neither is Tawfiq. The pressure that the thinking must withstand makes the writing remarkably concise. But its power is enormous, its scope vast, its effect sweeping. This book can be read as a single aphorism, an aphorism composed of aphorisms. And though it is the shortest of his books to date, it is perhaps also the greatest. Well, that was... But it's... The narrative reflects on how love can lead to both seclusion and a profound connection with others, while also contemplating the inevitable connection between love and death. Through various anecdotes and philosophical musings, he delves into the nature of love as a transformative yet often painful experience. Yes. Sorry. Let's get comfortable. I am beginning to get involved in an amorous relationship with a young woman who is doing her MFA in architecture. When I inquired who were her favorite architects, the first name she mentioned was yours. I checked out the Manhattan transcripts. I was in New Zealand 2 months ago on my way to Christchurch for a teaching position interview. It was my first visit to that city. Again, I was sensitized to the sensuality of women after a long hiatus of no longer feeling it in familiar cities. We go to foreign cities in search of sensuality and possibly love, and vice versa. We get in love in search of making the city in which we reside unfamiliar. All love affairs happen in foreign cities. 2 weeks after returning to Los Angeles, I was offered the position at Christchurch. 2 months later, I had to decide whether to accept the offer or stay in Los Angeles, where I was starting to fall in love. The decision I have to make is presently between 2 foreign cities. Interesting so far. Just one paragraph. Let's just choose a random one just for fun. Just for By its excess, every great love reveals the beloved as a hidden treasure. To be loved is not to feel one is a treasure, but to feel that one is a hidden treasure. The beloved gives what he or she does not have, the hidden treasure, felt by the lover. What the lover demands of the beloved, when he or she treats him or her as a hidden treasure, is, cruelly, to be a creator, so that this addition, the hidden treasure, would not be a mere subjective projection, an idealization, although a subjective projection, a pathological element in the Kantian sense, can be added to it, mixed with it de facto. I unboxed a banger paragraph. Page 26. So I think I might stop there. I actually feel a lot better after really just being kind of in like a transitional state of waiting for work all day. And it's still not happening quite yet, and it's 10 o'clock. But I gotta leave soon, and I think I gotta fix my eyelashes a little bit. I think this part needs to be a little bit. That looks a little bit better, right? They look a little bit they were looking a little bit uneven. Right? So we thought through some new exciting ideas and rediscovered some old good ideas that I had written down previously. And my cat's excited, Kitty's excited, and he wants to help with my mascara too. And so, yeah, let's loop in the cyclical nature of decision making. And I'm off to work soon.